What's going on, guys? I'm back with part 2 of the loop staking video. I said I was going to do a follow-up video because of the validator locking and also to answer some of the questions that I had in the comments and how to manage your loop staking. So first thing you want to do is get back on Metalend, and something I want to point out is if you can see that my available to borrow amount has now increased and I'm only borrowing 59% of my collateral. If we look back at my loop staking video, actually right now I'm at 83% of my borrowing. This is going to drop down to about 50% once my 2,500 RON registers, and that will be after 3 days. So now it's been 4 days since this video. My staked RON has registered, and now I have bigger collateral, which means I can borrow more. So if I go here, I can show you guys. If I click on my collateral, it shows I have 8,500 collateral. The original 6,000 is my 6,000 real RON. The 2,500 is my borrowed RON that I staked, so that you can kind of just see here as 8,500 RON total is my collateral, which means I can borrow some more. If I click max, it shows I can borrow 1,700 more RON. I don't want to do max. Let's do half of what I borrowed last time. Last time I borrowed 2,500. Now I'm going to borrow 1,250. As you can see, the APR is at 6.7%, which is still lower than staking rewards. So this loop staking position I have is still profitable. So I'm going to set that up. But before I click that, I want to also show you guys how to pay back the loan and how to pay back the interest of the loan. Because I got a lot of questions asking, how does the interest rate work? Is it a set fixed interest rate, or is it more of a pay as you go? And on Metalend, it is more pay as you go, which means this interest rate can fluctuate based on supply and demand. So it is something that you need to monitor. You don't get a fixed rate loan for a certain amount of time, but it also means that you can pay it at any time you want or hold the position as long as you want. That's kind of the positive side to it. As you can see, I borrowed 2,500 RON in the video, and now I owe 2,501.7 RON. This 1.7 has been the interest that has been added for borrowing my RON. We're going to get to how to pay that back in just a second. But let me get the borrowing going. Let me borrow another 1,250 RON. Get that going. I'm going to wait for it to drop in my wallet. As you can see, I'm going to be back at 88% of my loan, just like in the first video. If I refresh this, the RON has arrived. Now, if I go to the earnings tab, you can see that my 8,500 RON is here. If I click show rewards, this is where I can claim the RON rewards. Now, unfortunately, I didn't clear this before the video, so this 20 RON is also from some previous staking that I did. But this, based on the video and based on the APR, should be around 3 RON. So I go here, I claim the rewards. Imagine I'm claiming only 3 RON and not 20, and I can use that RON to pay off the interest and some of the principal, if I want, of the previous loan. So let me actually go and do that real quick. Go back to the available to borrow tab. Now it's 3,751 because I added 1,250, and the 3 RON that I earned, I can use to repay the loan. I'll just do that little transaction so that I can ensure that the interest is always paid off and a little bit of the principal. Again, you could choose to only pay off the interest and keep the profit, or you can use your profit to pay off some of the principal. So that's going to reduce to 48. As I can see, it's still at 6.7%, so I'm okay and profitable with this loop staking. So let me do another loop by depositing and staking more RON. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go deposit, RON, Ronin, RON on Ronin. It's right now 10.93% APR. Click deposit, stake. This time I'm going to choose a different validator. Let's go with, I'm using Moku, I'm using stable node. Let's go with YGG. I put my 1,250 that I just borrowed, click continue, and stake it in. So again, this staking is going to take 3 days to register because validators on the Ronin network lock for 3 days once you stake. So that is the key. That is a key factor. And again, this loop can continue in 3 days. If you guys really want, I can do another follow-up video now borrowing 600 RON, adding it to my stake. This is going to reduce again to around 50 something percent in 3 days, and I can continue this loop just having and having every time. And again, the one thing that you got to watch out for is as long as the borrowing APR is under the staking rewards, you're good to go. I'll keep this one short, 5-minute video. Thanks for watching. I hope I covered the questions, the big questions that kept coming. If you have any new questions, drop them in the comments. I'm going to also link part 1 in the video. Thanks, guys.